Hey love, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another video about bunching. So I've done quite a few videos on bunching, but I keep getting questions, and I want to make sure that you understand bunching, understand what is happening, understand why some people have bunching more than others, and so forth. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper. And talk about bunching, and specifically bunching with starting your locks with heat damaged hair. In this video, or most of my videos, I am so happy to share information with you guys, and I want to help as much as I can. I have created courses to break things down for people who want to learn how to do locks, for people who just want more information about locks when it comes to maintaining their own hair, or starting their own locks. If you just want to understand how and why certain things or characteristics happen to certain type of locks, I've created a video for that too. So I have different resources out there if you want everything all compiled together in one. I do have several online courses that you can watch at your own pace, at your own convenience, and kind of better understand the locking process. But I do have a complete course on there if you know nothing about locks but want to start locks and want to do it as a business. I have resources on there as well, courses on there as well to help you. And I have a membership for anyone who already, if you're already doing locks, you already have a locking business, but you want to grow, you want to expand, you want to learn. I'm here for you. That membership is there for you. We meet monthly with live Q&As. We discuss all type of things. And although I share a lot on YouTube, not everything is on YouTube as far as how to fix things, how to deal with things. So in my membership, you'll be able to get access to all of those things and get access to me as well when it comes to learning and breaking things down, whether you are a loctician or someone who is considering becoming a loctician. That membership will be a great tool for you. But let's get into this video. I don't want to waste too much of your time, but I wanted to make sure that you have a good understanding on bunching. So we're going to get into it. And once again, this is bunching for people with a looser curl pattern or wave pattern, and people who started off with heat damage or a relaxer, or some people don't have heat damage or relaxer, but some people naturally have the front of their hair or sections of their hair straight. So we're going to talk about what you can expect and some of the ways that you can rectify some of the issues if you're experiencing bunching. I do want to mention, because I've talked about bunching in the past and people are telling me, oh, bunching is necessary to lock and all this other stuff. Yes, bunching is absolutely necessary for locking. Bunching is a part of the process. However, when you have cultivated, defined locks and you interlock for maintenance, bunching is not your friend. Excessive bunching, because you are going to have some bunching. Heck, I have some bunching, but excessive bunching is not going to be your friend, because if you're interlocking, you are feeding that lock through this little bit of space, in your lock. You are feeding that lock through that base every retightening multiple times. And if you have a big fat old knot bunching at the ends, when you go to pull that lock through the base of your hair, it is going to be painful because that knot is too big for the hole that is trying to squeeze through. It is going to be painful. It will rip your hair, and over time it will thin out your hair. So that's why if you have Microlocs or any type of locks and you're interlocking any size and you're interlocking for maintenance, you are going to make sure that you keep the bunching to some under some type of control, because when you're interlocking, you do not want it to thin out your hair, or you do not want it to be painful in the process. So you're going to have to do something about it. If you are palm rolling for maintenance, you don't have to worry about bunching. It is cute. It looks like butterfly locks. It looks like, it is nothing wrong with it if you palm roll for maintenance, because you don't have to interlock, you don't have to pull that the bunching part through your hair. It does not do anything with the root. All you're doing is palm rolling and keeping it moving, and so you're good. But for people who are interlocking, keep watching. So there are many different processes that can alter your curl pattern. It could be flat iron your hair, which can cause heat damage. It could be applying color or bleaching the hair. It can also be doing keratin treatments. Anything. There are a couple of different things that can alter the curl pattern of the hair. So when the curl pattern is altered, it leaves your hair with two different types of curl pattern, or some of you guys refer to as texture. Unfortunately, some people don't even realize that their curl pattern have loosened over time because the hair has been trained to be straight, so it does not revert. And so when you go to lock your hair, you're like, oh, this is my natural curl pattern, or this is just my hair. I haven't had a relaxer in forever, so this is just my hair. Or you'll say something like you've been natural for 20 plus years, but in the process, you've been doing other things to alter the curl pattern of your hair. So when you actually do lock your hair and the new growth start coming in and your hair is growing and we're locking the new growth, you start to see the difference in the two curl patterns. So you have the part that has been altered, that is straighter. It does not swell. It just stays limp. And then you have the new curl, your natural curl pattern that comes in. It's fuller, it's thicker, and it's just two different. You're dealing with two different wave or curl pattern. So because you're dealing with two different patterns, or some of you guys may refer to it as texture, that is not the proper term for it, but since that's how some people understand it, I'm going to say texture, but the proper term is curl or wave pattern. So because you're dealing with two different curl pattern, there's going to be a line of demarcation, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much where the natural hair intersects with the heat damage, relaxed, or straight hair. And at the point of intersection is where the bunching begins, because the straight heat damage hair cannot really, it won't lock. It's just going to stay slim, limp. And then your natural hair is trying to lock, is trying to bud. So your budding will really start in the middle of the strand of the lock, because the heat damage part is just going to stay the way it is for the most part. So this example here is where client bleached before she locked, but now the ends are bunching because the curl pattern is different from her new growth or natural hair pattern. So that part is bunching in some areas, not all, but some areas. So the locks will have to be babied to make sure that the bunching is minimized. And in this part, because the colored section is shorter, the bunching seems to be really close to the tip, but the bunching is also happening at the intersection of where the color started and where the natural hair ends. So in the first example with the other client's hair, with that bunching happening in the middle of the lock, and she has a long, her heat damage hair is really long. So usually when people start off with heat damage or relaxer or straight hair, that most people typically start off knowing eventually they're going to cut that part off because it's not going to lock, it's not going to swell, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to just stay there. It's going to stay as is. So if you choose to keep it, that's fine. You just have to keep braiding and banding to make sure to minimize the bunching in the intersection. And you can twist just how I'm doing now to kind of help stretch the bunching if some does occur, but you do want to make sure that the bunching is under control. Now, because the locks are small and the bunching is not too thick, you can still interlock without it hurting or without it creating, causing the hair to thin out from pulling or anything like that. So braiding and banding is very important in these situations. This is another client where she's experiencing some bunching in the intersection of her locks, where the straighter part is meeting with the her natural hair. So this is an example where there's some bunching at the intersection. And so you're going to see that throughout locks that where people have started off this way. So you're going to see that. So when you see that, just expect and know that this is what's going to happen. Don't be too concerned, but you just know that this is something where you will wear, grow it out. Once the hair gets to a certain length that you like, you can keep the ends or you can go ahead and cut. And when you cut the relaxed or heat damaged part off, you'll be cutting at the intersection. Okay, so that is it for now. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below, but definitely more to come on this subject.